What's up, crafters? It's Ashley with AMCX Studio, and we are back with another Canva tutorial. If you've been on the internet or Instagram for any amount of time, I'm sure you have seen those super trendy minimalist style pantry labels. And if you want them for your own house, I'm going to show you in this video how you can get those pantry labels for free inside of Canva and how we can cut them on our Cricut machines. So what we're going to want to do is pop over to canva.com. We're going to go to the top right corner where it says create a design, and we're going to create a blank document. So Cricut's print and cut size right now is 9.25 by 6.75. So we're going to go ahead and type those into the box here. We want to make sure that our measurements are in inches. The default is going to be pixels. We're going to tap on that create a design, and it's going to bring you up to a blank canvas. Now that we have our blank canvas, we can start creating these decals. Now before we get started, we're going to look back at our reference images. We have Marie Kondo pantry labels that are the rectangle shape. We have these that are rectangles. As you can see here, they're really boxy, a lot of white, thin lines, thin text. So we're going to start by going over to the left hand side of the screen, and we're going to go over to elements. Under elements, it's going to show you a lot of different shapes, clip art, things like that. We're going to go ahead and select the box. Clicking it will drop it onto your screen, and when you select it, it's going to show different handles around it. You're going to have some like hot dog style ones and little circles in the corners. If you drag this out, you're going to see a dialog box pop up showing you how large the design is. Looking back at the labels that you can get from the Container Store, it looks like their dimensions are 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. So we're going to create something really similar. I'm going to go with like a 2-inch square, but of course you guys can create whatever size you want that's best going to fit your needs. So now that we have our basic box, we're gonna drop on over on the left hand side down to text. Now they have pre-done text setups for you, so if you like one of these, you're more than welcome to grab one. And honestly, a couple of these kind of fit the vibe of what we're going for. I'm gonna go ahead and click this creativity is intelligence, having fun. I'm digging this super thin font. We can change some of these elements out, but I definitely think that this top text here matches the vibes so much. So we're gonna go ahead and type in flower. Let me go back to our references. It looks like theirs are all capitalized. So let's go ahead and capitalize this font set. I want it to be spaced out a little more because I don't like how close everything is. So in order to do that, we're gonna select the flower or the text, whatever you ended up picking, and we're gonna go up to this little 3 bars and arrow thing. That's gonna change your spacing of your letters. Now you can go, this letter spacing is gonna put space in between each of your letters, otherwise known as kerning, and we can adjust that accordingly. I think we're gonna go for 400. That seems to be pretty good to me. You can also, if you select this and you see how those hot dog handles that we talked about earlier are lit up now, we can adjust the sizing here just so that the bounding box around the text is a little tighter and it's easier for us to manage and manipulate. All right, so I do want to touch on a couple of the other elements inside of that letter spacing box that we saw earlier. So when you click on the letter spacing and you go to that button, right, we're looking at letter spacing, which is going to change the kerning of the designs. The line underneath that, the line spacing itself, that's going to change how much space is given between every line. The higher this goes, the more dramatic the gap is going to be in between your lines. To show you an example of that, let's say you have almond flour. Now if we were to mess with the line spacing here, you'll see that it continues to grow. It's just something to keep in mind as you guys are toying around with different fonts and things like that. If something doesn't quite sit right with you, you can adjust the spacing between the letters themselves and then the lines. Now I don't want to keep this font down here. I'm actually going to go for a super just straight and narrow kind of font. So I'm going to adjust the bounding box here. And we're going to select the text and then go up to the left side of the screen, and we're going to browse through Canva's different fonts. I'm going to try to find one that kind of matches the vibe of this design here. So let's see if we can. Honestly, I'm kind of digging this one. So now that we have this, I'm going to adjust the letter spacing just a little bit. I want it to be a little bit tighter than our font up top. Alright, so I'm going to change this bottom text out to have it say all-purpose. And I kind of liked the line that was going through here. So we're going to go ahead and drop one of those in. In order to do that, we just go back over to the elements on the left-hand side. We're going to go to the lines and shapes, and we're going to drop in our little line. So looking at the line in comparison with the fonts that we picked, it's a thick boy. We're going to go ahead and select this line, and we're going to go for a thinner line style. Selecting the line, we're going to go to the top left side, and we're going to hit line style. Here we can adjust the weight of the line. Right now it's set to 5, and because of how small our labels are going to end up being, we don't need it that big. I think that a line of 1 point kind of really goes with what we've got going on. So I'm going to select our text and our line, and I'm going to go ahead and center it. In order to do that, we select those 3 items, go to position, and it looks like we're kind of already centered. If you're not, this section here is going to be lit up. You just pick that. I'm going to hold down Control and G, and that's going to group those items together so that we can move this entire text box without having to select everything individually again. And in order to ungroup it, you just right click and then you can ungroup it, or you can hold Shift, Control, and G, and that will give you the shortcut to ungroup. So comparing this to our references, I think we kind of nailed it. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this design a few times, change out the text, and then I'm going to show you guys what you need to do in order to print and cut these labels for your own pantry. Now that we have our labels done, I'm going to go ahead and change those blue boxes over to white so that when we upload it into Cricut Design Space, everything is exactly the way that it needs to be because we are doing a print and cut. In order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and select everything in the background. In this box up here, the color box should be the color that you're looking at. We're going to go ahead and select that and pick white. Now, in order to make sure that the Cricut is seeing exactly what I want it to see, you're going to want to select the background itself, and the color box is going to turn into a rainbow. We're going to select the background color, and we're going to pick a gray color. This is going to allow you, when you go to upload it inside of Cricut Design Space, it's going to allow you to take out that background. Now that that has been changed, we're going to go ahead and download this file. You're going to click the upper right hand corner and you're going to hit share, and then we're going to go to download. If you have a pro account, you can actually download this with a transparent background. Now I know a lot of you guys aren't going to have the pro account, so I'm going to show you how to do it without having a clear background. We're going to go ahead and select PNG. That is going to give you the best quality image. We're just going to hit download. It is going to ask you where you want to save it. I'm going to go ahead and save mine on my desktop so that I know exactly where it is when I go to upload this into Cricut Design Space. But I highly recommend you guys stay way more organized than me. And we're going to pull up Cricut Design Space. We are going to select the upload feature in the left hand side. We're going to go to upload our image, and you guys can either drag and drop this in here or you can go searching for it. We're going to select browse. I'm going to drop down to my desktop. I'm going to select our image that we just downloaded. We're going to save it as a complex image. I'm going to hit continue. So now this is where we're going to be able to take out the background. What we're going to do is select the gray background, and it's going to completely wipe it out. We're going to hit apply and continue, and we're going to save it as a print and cut image. Now this part here is important. Please fill it out. Your image name is automatically going to default to whatever you ended up saving it from Canva as. The tags, I know it says it's optional, but trust me, in 2 years from now or at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to remember exactly what you named this. So filling out the tags is going to be so helpful. I'm going to select upload. Now that it is uploaded into our recents, we're going to select that. You should see a little circle pop up next to the cancel and add to canvas. That means that you have indeed selected that item. We're going to go ahead and hit add to canvas, and it is now here. Cricut lately has been importing images too big or too small. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with it. I hope that they fix it soon. So Cricut threw up a warning letting us know that our image itself is way too big. Now if you remember, when we created it inside of Canva, we made sure that those boxes were 2 inches wide. So what we're going to want to do, if you ended up picking a different size for your boxes, you're going to want to follow this step. So what we're going to do is go over to the left hand side and we're going to click on shapes. We're going to pop open a box, and this is going to allow us to create a box that is the exact same size as what we originally created inside of Canva. So now that our box is here, we're going to drag this up into the upper left hand corner all the way at 0, 0 so that we can readjust these labels. We're going to select the label image itself and use the double arrow thing, and this is going to adjust our width and our height at the exact same time. Make sure that under size your image is locked. If it's not, you're going to be able to adjust it in a really wonky way. So dragging this, we're going to make sure that it's about the same size, and it looks like we are all set. So these are our pantry labels. We're going to move on to the print and cut process. Now this process is super straightforward, and because these are minimalist style, it's going to require very little effort, and we're not going to have to do a whole bunch of reprints on it to make sure that the colors and everything like that are right. So we're going to hit on make it in the top right corner, and it's going to pop a box like this. We're going to go ahead and hit continue, and we're going to send it to our printer. Now when you go to send it to your printer, you want to make sure that you've selected the correct printer. I can't tell you how many times I've sent things to my Rollo printer. I'm gonna go ahead and take off the bleed because there's nothing really here that we need to have the bleed on for. And I'm gonna use the system dialog box. The system dialog box is going to allow me to go into my printer settings themselves and adjust anything that I need to. So when you select that option, you're gonna see a box similar to this pop up. Make sure that the correct printer is still selected, and we're going to go under preferences, and here you can change all of the settings. I'm going to go ahead and go with a premium standard because again, these are really minimalist style designs. Not a whole lot of stuff is going on in this. Alright, so now that I have my printable vinyl in, we're going to go ahead and hit OK, and it's going to send it to the printer. For anyone that was curious, I'm actually using Zykoto. I'm gonna go ahead and link this down below. It's glossy, durable, water resistant, permanent vinyl. I really like the results that I've gotten from this particular brand. I have a few other brands over here that I'm using, and I'm testing out different things for you guys, and I cannot wait to show you. So now that the designs are printed out, we're gonna go ahead and put it on our Cricut mat and select vinyl. For my machine, I found out that vinyl gives me the best results. You guys can test out different variations of it. You could do the printable vinyl. We're gonna go ahead and load this into our Cricut mat, and we'll be back with the final reveal. While we wait for that, I can give you guys a little like behind the scenes of like this insane mess that we've got going on right now. I've got to clean up all of this from this week's worth of vinyl that's just fallen all over the place. So I did go ahead and grab my popcorn box. I got these containers off of Amazon as well. I'll link that down below if you guys are interested in grabbing these things. We're gonna go ahead and pop off these decals and the peel. And there are the results. So how cute is that popcorn label? It's definitely super trendy, minimalist vibe. Honestly, y'all, I cannot wait to finish these labels and put the rest of them on my containers in my kitchen. So if you found this video helpful, I want you to go ahead and share this with your other crafty friends who absolutely need to organize their kitchen this weekend. And if you find yourself loving Canva and everything that it has to offer and you want to explore more, be sure to check out this video here. I walk you through how to create your own vinyl color chart. And if you're a small business owner, it is literally a game changer. Go ahead, click on it. Until next time, crafters, bye!